I decided we'll wait a couple more minutes.
Did you hear?
I've been here.
Did you hear from
I believe Jeff Bennett called.
He did call. He will not be here. He's in
They-
hospital.
Okay, thank you, that's right, he said
He called
that.
about 10 minutes ago.
He said that.
That's his apologies.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we had a last-minute item to add on to the agenda. We're going to discuss that first. What it is, it was a contract for the tomb restoration,
For Mass Historic.
Mass Historic, and some strange reason the state lost the contract, and so it needs to be signed by the chairman of this board. If this does not get done tonight, we lose the grant. So Alan, would you like to come up and explain a little bit about that, please?
Yes, on January 23rd, the Board of Selectmen voted to allow the chairman to sign the contract for the grant for the tomb restoration. The grant was a $72,000 grant, 50% through the Mass Historical Commission and 50% through the CPA fund, which the voters voted at town meeting last May. Upon getting that signed, the Selectmen's office sent it in the mail down to Boston. I was anticipating that we would get the contract back. I have been in touch with Mass Historical about every other day for the past 2.5 weeks. Finally, because I told them that we were going to come before the selectmen to enter into a contract for the hiring of the contractor for the actual job, they called me that Monday morning and said they don't have the contract. So that's why last meeting I had said that there was a problem with the state contract. Wednesday, they called me this past, just yesterday, and said that they did not have the contract. So I insisted that they sent me the paperwork straight up here through email so that we could get it set up, so that we could get the contract signed, because the town stands to lose a $72,000 grant. The reason it's such an emergency for us is because we need to move forward so we can get the contractor hired and in place in time so that she can start, because the actual end of the contract period is June 30th. So we're under the gun to get this done through no fault of the town. Apparently the state lost the contract. And so I'm asking tonight that the board make a motion to vote and have the chair sign the contract so that I can get it into the mail. I am going to send it overnight registered, certified, so that we will make sure that there is a signature on it, and the state's aware of this. I told them that that's the plan, and that hopefully they're going to allow me to come to the next selectmen meeting to award the contract for the contractor. So that's where we're at.
Okay. All set. Any board members have any questions for Alan?
Just one quick one. So this is to sign the contract with Mass Historical, correct?
Yes, for the actual grant.
Anybody else? Yes, Bob.
Yeah, there isn't any copies of the contract here in the office that we could send them?
They won't accept the contract, no copy. It's got to be an original.
With ink signature on it.
Blue ink.
It's got to actually be in blue ink so that you can prove it's an original. They're really picky about the grant.
Julie?
That is correct. It does have to be signed in blue ink, and I was the one who signed the contract. I think you also have to have an agreement with the state, some statement that has to be filled out for the chairman to sign.
Yes.
Yes, we have that.
Yes.
Standard contract form.
Right.
It's just the contract, and also the, Julie's speaking about the project authorization form,
Yeah.
which
You have.
she has that as well.
That has to be signed by Carol Harris, not you, but you need to sign it.
Yeah, it has to be signed by the chair of this board, and then Carol Harris.
This is the project authorization?
Oh, wait.
Yep.
It's right there, I have everything
Any other comments? All right, I will accept the motion to have the chair sign this contract for the state.
I'll make that motion to have the chair sign the motion for the state.
Motion's been made, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Chris?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
He signs, but here's the contract.
Yeah,
And we have to have 3 of them.
just one signature? Oh, three.
Yeah, there's 3 contracts. You sign right there. It has to be in blue, so I brought it with me.
Yep, very good.
Where does he sign it?
He signs it right up here.
Oh, it is? Okay. I did next to it just in case. And there's the second one.
Is there a second signature page on that?
Oh, actually, you know what, there is. Did you sign both?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yep, there is.
You get this one now.
Yep.
Right up here. Right up here on the top.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yep, where it says signature, yep. And the date. I can fill the date
Yeah,
if
why
you
don't
want,
you get
that's
the date?
fine.
Just
And then here, you need to sign the second page. And then this, as far as I haven't tabbed.
Yep. Just remember they're going to be dated.
Yes, I'll date them. This form. So just have to sign right here?
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's her, those are hers.
Yep.
Okay, Bob, if you could just sign right above your name, right there.
Right above it, yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you. All right, before we get into the other part of the meeting here, I just want to go over a few things. First of all, there's another meeting in here at 6 o'clock. So we, in order, everybody that wants to speak and so forth and have questions or anything, please come through the chair. I'll try to recognize everyone. Try to make your point in a timely fashion so that everybody get a chance to talk. Please stick to the subject at hand here. Consider switching town council. Don't get in. Please do not get any shouting matches or anything like that. So just try to keep it civil, okay, Julie?
Is this meeting being recorded?
Yes, it is.
So it's being recorded on cable as well as...
Not on cable, but just on audio.
You should ask
Oh, yes.
anyone else.
No, he's here. He's here.
Right?
He had a, excuse me, the person on the cable committee had an appointment, but it got canceled, so he was able to make it the last minute.
Should ask anyone else to record it.
Is anyone else? Mark, Haranis, that it? And of course Nancy.
Who's recording? Oh, you're not recording?
No, I'm not recording.
Okay, so let's open the meeting. I will make the motion and accept the second, and then we'll go on to discussion. I'll accept the motion. Virginia?
I move to appoint Copeland and Page as town council to replace the 3 current law firms forthwith.
Motion is made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second is made. Okay, now we'll open up. Does the board have any comments for Jeff?
Just a comment, there are only 2 law firms currently under contract in the town. The tax title attorney contract has not been executed. So just so you know, actually it's two firms
All right,
replacing
well,
them.
we'll amend
Thank
that.
you, and I'll amend the motion to say the two current law firms.
Okay, would you second amended motion? Okay. Now, anybody else in the board have any? Chris?
I have a few concerns about this. One, we are under contract with those law firms until the end of the fiscal year. I want to know if we're going to have any financial obligation to them if we move them immediately. Two, I don't understand why this can't wait till the end of the fiscal year, and then we can do it properly and just not renew their contracts in, come July 1. So those are my...
When there's a change in the makeup of the board, that is allowed, and the contracts are not binding in my information that I received.
Bobby, I can't hear you. Speak up.
I said that when there's a change on the board, the contracts or appointments are not binding. It was what the information I received. Paul?
I think it's a mistake to start trying to undo some things that were done, especially when it concerns contracts. Now, things were done before the recall, and that's what caused the recall. I think that we should step back and wait until the time runs out that we have taken and allowed something. In other words, we said the end of the fiscal year. What's the hurry? There's no hurry on this. We can't undo everything that was done before that we didn't agree with, and that's why we had a recall. And if we don't watch ourselves, we're going to become the recall capital of Massachusetts, because it can happen again. The recall was good and it was bad. I've been in this town for, well, almost 60 years. And I can tell you right now, we've never had a recall that I can remember. And I hope we never have another one. Because it's not good if we have to recall some of our elected officials. I think I supported this one, and I think it was necessary. But I think what we have to do is get this board back together as a whole board, acting as a whole board, and not be too fast to try and do something that doesn't need to be done now. If we don't, then we're just causing problems. And there's one other thing to consider. Legislation has not been done on this recall. It can bounce, and we might have to have another recall. Don't do something that's going to cause problems down the road. At the end of the fiscal year, if we decide we don't want that attorney, then we go somewhere else. And I support Kappelman and Page. I've done it twice when I was a selectman. But don't be in a hurry to cause problems. We don't need it.
Thank you. Deb?
I want a justifiable reason for you to change now when May is around the corner. And I find it hard in my heart of hearts to believe that these people are not going to come back on us for payment for the rest of their contract. And if that happens, just where is this money coming from? We are a town with no money. We are broke. You better don't let that venture too far from your head, because that's a reality.
My understanding is that there's no contract or appointments when there's a change in the board that's binding.
You better hope. But I still want a reason, a justifiable reason.
Well, for one thing, through the course of what's been going on in the last several months, I felt that the advice that was given to this board was faulty. And what I mean by that is the advice that was given, it ended up two people were recalled because they offered advice at that hearing to dismiss the town coordinator, and they were going by the advice of council that it was to run the meeting the way it was run. I just think that was bad advice.
If they got the advice, they didn't have to take it. all right?
Correct.
That was their
Correct.
choice.
That's a
But
judgment call.
Copeland and Page may have made some judgments that not everyone agrees with. They are a law firm. They do their job, they get paid. It shouldn't matter who's sitting behind the desk.
Okay, thank you. Julie?
I actually have two questions. The first question is, how much is left in the line item for legal expenses?
I can answer that question.
I think it's around, go ahead, I think it's around 42.
One second. This is town council expenses line 015151300. It was budgeted for this year, fiscal 12, at $73,000. We have spent year-to-date through yesterday's warrant $41,882.50, leaving a balance on account today of $31,117.50, or 42% of the total appropriation. That's how much money we have to spend on legal services for the town between now and June 30th.
And what's the date on that?
Yesterday's warrant.
Yesterday's warrant?
Yeah, so as of 2/15, that's yesterday. Yep.
Because that was the same figure that was there at the beginning of January.
No, I think we actually paid some bills in the last one. We paid a few.
We paid some from January.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, Julie, then I saw you next, and then Bumsy.
My question is,
Julie's got one more.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
I have a question for each of the board members who are here, the missing one. Have you had contact with Copeland and Page before this election? No. Virginia, have you had contact?
No.
I haven't talked to them since they left last June.
I'm going to hand you a letter, a packet
Could I
of
see that
information.
first?
Yes, you may. This is a letter that I received on May 9th, 2011. It wasn't that long ago. Dear Julie, I know that your husband thinks that our firm did something wrong, and I'm not going to try to change your mind. Nonetheless, I would like to work with you. I respect the fact that you are an important person within your community, and I treat all selectmen as equals. So let me congratulate you, first of all, on your victory, and second, to again offer you any help I can give you, day, night, or weekends. My toll-free number is, and it's written down, home number, direct dial number, and my email address is. Best wishes for another successful term in office. Sincerely, Leonard Koppelman. Since you have been elected, have you received a letter like this?
No.
No. Okay. So we're not sure that you've been treated as equals. This is my that was my third term when I got elected in May, and that was my first letter from Koppelman and Page. You should be aware of what
I've seen
you're
it.
hiring.
This is the same one you have online.
Yeah.
I've seen it. What are you saying is wrong with this? I'm not sure I'm getting what you're...
All right, well, if you can't understand what is wrong with this, I don't have enough time. You do have a meeting to continue.
Hey, anybody else? Excuse me, yeah, gentleman in the back, didn't you, Bumsy?
you made mention that changing of the board, in your opinion, you could end up going along and changing council. Is that correct?
That's the
Did
information.
you get a legal opinion on that?
No.
Then we could be subject by both law firms suits. And I agree with Mr. Q.
Hey,
That potentially you're putting this town at risk. I hope you realize that. Because it's going to come back and bite you right where it's going to hurt.
you all set? Bumsy and then Bob.
I have some problems. You know, Copeland and Page, in my opinion, has a very checkered past as town council. I say that with reservation because I sat in a town meeting once while a lawyer from Copeland and Page spent a long time talking to the citizens of this town. In my capacity as an elected official, I had a contract having to do with the town sewer treatment plant. And I was aware that what he was saying was half-truths, in some cases, close to outright lies in this presentation. So I have deep reservations to go back to Copeland and Page, and I recognize that I was listening to one lawyer and not necessarily to the whole firm. So I really have reservations. If you do not like the firms that you have, the two firms, I understand, I would find nothing wrong with you people going out and investigating the marketplace, so to speak, for other firms. But to all of a sudden turn 180 degrees and go back to the firm that we had for a number of years, I question the wisdom of it. And my other question already has been asked. I guess that you, as chairperson, has called a meeting based on your personal opinion without any legal counsel. Unless you have gone, there are two possibilities this evening. Either you have been in discussion with Copeland and Page, or you've been in discussion with our existing lawyers. And I guess the third one is you haven't talked to legal counsel about it at all. And if you haven't, then I would say that I suspect strongly that it would have been much wiser for you as chairperson representing the citizens of this community to talk to legal counsel before going to get to this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob, I think you were next, and back in the back. Go ahead.
Well, I have a couple of things. First of all, I would like to have Mr. Dennis's question answered. Did you talk with Copeland and Page?
I already
Did you talk with Probowski and me? Or did you not talk to anybody?
About this issue.
About this issue?
I haven't talked to...
You haven't talked to anybody. So you're making this legal opinion on your own. And the second thing is I want this entire board to know that I believe this meeting is in violation of the open meeting laws, and I will be filing a complaint. And I think some people knew this was an open meeting law violation going on here.
It's not.
And so there's a difference between having an open meeting law violation and having one that's an intentional. And I think that makes a little difference to the Attorney General.
Thank you. Yeah, in the back.
My assumption is that the new board members, as well as the ones that are sitting here, wanted to go in a new direction. Is that correct? And I say new direction, away from things that got us to where we are today.
In my mind, a new direction from what happened the last...
Well, to me, a new direction would be that we don't go back. If you want to take and change town council, I have to agree with Mr. Bumsey that we would look at some other firm. Not to go, if you don't like the present one, that's fine. But let's not go back to somewhere else. Let's go in a totally different direction. If that's really what you people want to do, let's do that. Because like I stated before, without legal counsel that you have not sought, could get us into trouble with one or both. I strongly recommend that you look at other possibilities as well.
Okay, thank you. Doug?
How do we know Copeland Page even wants to come back?
They
want to represent?
They've insinuated they didn't want to leave in the first place, so.
Right, but we replaced them.
You said you didn't talk
Have
to
they
them.
expressed their interest to come
They-
You
back?
said you didn't,
Right.
I asked each and every one of them
Right here.
individually.
You said that they
If you
caught...
had talked to Leonard
they
Kaufman, if you
contacted
had talked to
you.
Kaufman and Page.
Julie,
No,
please?
no,
Joe,
no,
Julie.
no.
please get recognized. Anyone else? Yes, Kevin.
You said earlier that you were advised that we could not be sued by the current legal attorneys.
The information that I came across.
So you came across it somewhere, or you were advised?
No, I read it somewhere.
I'm sorry?
I read it somewhere.
So you were advised by the internet or a book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Julie.
Where were you advised? Where did you get your information?
Yeah.
Where did you get your information? You're on record, all of you, as not having any contact, as not have sought out a legal opinion whether or not this could come back and hurt the town. You're all on record. It has been recorded. I'm getting the DVD.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Paul.
We all asked for it to be recorded.
We did.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I request that this be put on hold until the end of the fiscal year. If then you want to change attorneys, between now and then, some information can be gathered in different attorneys. And if you want to go one way or the other, fine. But if you want to go back to Copeland and Page, personally, I support it. But not now. I think we're asking for trouble. I really do.
Thank you. Virginia?
Unfortunately, I think we're asking for trouble if we don't do something right now. I just received in the mail from our current labor attorney the minutes of the executive session that was held on the 11th. Should never have been sent to me. You know, that I forwarded that to the Attorney General, but that should never have been, that concerns me that our labor attorney would be doing that.
Diana?
So the labor attorney is now coloring your opinion of the current law firm that we have. I don't know, they're two separate entities, aren't they?
Yes.
You have the labor attorney and the general counsel that we have.
Right.
Two different law firms.
But the general counsel does not cover labor.
So, but your reasoning...
Copeland and Page covers all of them.
Yeah, well... But your reasoning for the current firms is that you don't like the labor council, so you want to get rid of both of them? That makes you guys all look like a fool. I'm sorry.
In my mind,
I'm
it
sure
does
that
not.
most of the town agrees
In my
with
mind, it does not.
All right.
Are you recognized?
No, I'm just talking to myself.
Two more, and then we're going to have to take a vote because we have to.
Virginia, I thought that you were concerned about the recall. If that's a problem, hire your own lawyer.
I shouldn't have to hire a lawyer
Well, you
for
shouldn't
it.
have to, then you have a choice. Paper is there or hire your own.
You're not even doing interviews. You have 2 new members of the board. We did interviews. We put out bids, requests for proposals. We had interviews open to the public so anyone could attend. All the board members asked questions, and it was chosen to go with Blattman, Bobrowski, and me for a flat fee of $5,000 a month. Okay? We had to go out for Labor Council. At that meeting, we decided to offer Labor Council to Copeland and Page. 4 days later, Copeland and Page refused it. Okay? That's what happened. At the very least, you should go out for interviews. If you don't wait to the end of the fiscal year to make this change, at the very least, you owe the people of the town of Templeton to go through the same interview process that was held last June and July to interview town council. This is the whole town. We're all on the hook.
Okay.
I have one more.
All right, Chris, and then we're going to take the vote because we have to.
I started this conversation saying that I am not for this right now, I want to wait till the end of the year. I would like to add to that, in my opinion, Blattman, Brabowski, and Mead have done nothing wrong. They have done a good job for us. On the other hand, our Labor Council, I do not trust them as far as I could throw them. After that meeting in October, when they did not give us the full truth on issues of that day, I do not trust them. But let's do it the right way. Let's wait till the end of the fiscal year, and then we can, get rid of them and do it the proper way.
Okay, we're going to take a vote to appoint Copeland and Page to replace the two current law firms forthwith. We've had discussion. Chris?
No.
Okay. Pat?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And yes.
Investigation done?
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I didn't see it, sorry.
Immediately.
Did you see his hand?
We had
Did you sign this?
I said we were going to. We got a meeting at 6.
You made mention that you read this.
We haven't.
Can you give me, some information as to where you read that? I'd like to know.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Hey, excuse me.
We haven't
Hey,
adjourned.
please file out quietly.